In this video, we're gonna take a look at the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite version. Now, this is a new webcam. If you are familiar with the OBSBOT Tiny 2, which is my favorite webcam so far from OBSBOT, they have made another version. They called it Tiny 2. It's 4K and Lite. So basically, it has a smaller sensor, so you know, and it is cheaper compared to the other OBSBOT Tiny 2. The Tiny 2 Lite is actually $179. I believe, I don't know if they made it. I don't know if some people maybe were complaining that the Tiny 2 was expensive, or maybe they just wanted to offer another option. Now, does the price and the sensor size going to affect the image quality of this webcam? We're gonna find out in this video. What is going on, guys? My name is Sam. You're watching my production tips and tools helping you master live streaming. By the way, if you can see my screen right now, I have the Tiny 2, the original Tiny 2 4K, and I'm recording this video using both cameras. Okay, however, the output, I'm only outputting the Tiny 2 Lite version. But if I wanted to, if you can see my screen right now, I have the OBSBOT Center, which is the software you use to control either the OBSBOT Tiny 2 or the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite. Luckily, I'm actually able to connect both webcams on my computer, and I'm able to see the feed in real time and control all the settings in real time at the same time, which is gonna be awesome because it's gonna allow me and you guys to see the difference between the two webcams. Now, full disclosure, this webcam was actually sent to me by OBSBOT for the purpose of this review. However, they don't get to see the video, they didn't pay me, and they don't get to approve anything that I say. So as I said in the intro, I'm a big fan of the original Tiny 2, the OBSBOT Tiny 2 4K. I love that webcam. It's amazing. I love the tracking function. In fact, let me go ahead and actually switch to it so you guys can see the image quality coming out of it. All right. So now what you're looking at right now is the OBSBOT Tiny 2, the original one. And I love the image quality. The camera looks really, really good. It connects well with OBS. Of course, they got 4K, so you can record directly through OBS, and it's got a nice software that you can actually use to tweak a lot of stuff with the webcam. Now, one of the things that I love about this webcam is actually the feature to be able to use auto exposure, because when you connect this webcam, it's just going to look good no matter what you do. It's going to detect your lighting and everything and make sure it looks good. Now, looking at the new webcam, which is the Tiny 2 Lite version that we have here, I wanted to see first, because I had to connect these two cameras to see if actually it's going to match the other camera. First of all, as I said, the sensor size is gonna be a little smaller. So the Tiny 2 Lite has actually, let me switch to the image, to the Tiny 2 image. It has a smaller sensor, which is gonna be a 1/2 inch or 1/2 inch. All right. And usually a smaller sensor means that the image quality is going to suffer at some point. Two, obviously, as I said in the intro, is gonna be a little cheaper, but other than that, everything else is use the same software as the Tiny 2. It uses, as you can see, if I can show you here on my screen right now, this is the OBSBOT Center, which is the software that I'm actually using to control both webcams. Okay, as you can see, I have both connected. As you can see, we have camera 1, which is this is the Tiny 2, and then we have camera 2, which is the Tiny 2 Lite. As you can see, the controls are the same. Of course, if you switch to the Tiny 2 and I go to image, you can see that there are few things are actually missing here. Mostly, there's one thing that I actually noticed. Yeah, the image palette. I don't really know what it does. Suitable for most scenes, more focus on scene and characters, streaming mode for live. So this function is actually not available when I switch to camera 2. As you can see, when I switch to the Lite version, of course, I have HDR, I have the autofocus, the focusing, you can choose autofocus or manual focus. Everything else is there except that function. Okay, but other than that, if you look at the image quality, let me go full screen right now. If you can see on my screen, you can see both cameras side by side. You can see that the Tiny 2 OG, you can see that it's actually way better compared to the other one. You can see the way the contrast is way better. You can see that the fact that it's actually a bigger sensor, it's just the image is perfect. Now, if I go to the Tiny 2, which is the image that you're looking at right now on the other side, the Tiny 2 Lite, you can see that the image is a little kind of grainy-ish. It has no contrast. Now I can go ahead and actually try to tweak it, maybe see if it's going to change something. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to image, and I'm gonna go to, because the color temperature is the same with, you know, everything. I try to match everything. As you can see, the color, the white balance, sorry. But let me go to contrast, maybe try to add a little bit of saturation and see. So saturation is not gonna fix anything. Again, I'm gonna put it back to 50. Maybe let's try to increase the contrast. Maybe it can help a little bit. Oh, the contrast does help actually. So if I increase the contrast to 100%, is probably too contrasty, but it's close to what we have on the Tiny 2 OG. So by tweaking the image, actually, it's getting a little better. All right, again, you don't want to do too much. So again, if I put all the way up and then maybe reduce the saturation a little bit, maybe do like 49, and then this one maybe do like so. Now the image quality is getting a little better compared to the Tiny 2 OG. But again, if you see both cameras, even though the other one boosts the contrast, you can see that the background, the way it handles lighting, you can see that the fact that it's a smaller sensor, it's still a little grainy, right? You can tweak it, make it look good. But at the end of the day, the Tiny 2 still wins. It's a bigger sensor, it's obvious, and there's no way like around it, right? But it's slightly close in my opinion if you have to actually tweak it. So let me go ahead and actually put it right here. And if I go to image 1 and I add a little bit of contrast, you're still gonna see that the Tiny 2 will still beat it. Like the Tiny 2 will still be way better. So you can see that it's just a game of like, okay, let's tweak it, let's tweak it, let's tweak it. But in my opinion, the image is not bad. It still look good. All right. Again, if you want to save money, it's gonna look good on your Zoom calls and stuff like that. That's for sure. Now, before I get too far, I just want to show you guys what you get in the box when you receive it. Really not much. It's just straightforward. You're just gonna receive this box right here, and inside you're gonna get a USB Type-C cable with the little adapter to adapt Type-C to Type-A. And another thing you're gonna get, obviously, you're gonna get the actual camera. Now, if you compare both cameras also, you can see that the little sensors inside each camera, you can see that the Tiny 2, in sizes, they look similar, but inside you can see that the sensor is slightly bigger if you do like a close-up to both cameras, okay? Well, in this video, by the way, if I look bad in this video, because I have like 3 cameras filming me, so I don't know where to look, okay, but I hope it doesn't bother you. But other than that, you're also going to notice that the Lite version also has this little adapter that you use to mount to your monitor. It's kind of attached to the camera, to the actual camera, compared to the OG. The OG, it was actually not attached to it. So that's another subtle kind of change you're gonna see on the camera. Now, when it comes to the software, it's gonna be the same software that control both cameras. So it's gonna be the OBSBOT Center, and all you gotta do, just go to obsbot.com and you're gonna be able to download it, no problem. Once you connect it, it just uses USB Type-C, goes directly into your computer. You're gonna be able to actually, as soon as you open the software, it's going to detect the camera. So you don't have to do anything super fancy or anything. It's just connected, it's going to detect it, and you're gonna be able to control it, no problem. When it comes to other things you can do, if you want to connect it to OBS, it's gonna connect automatically. Streamlabs as a webcam, no problem. You still have 4K for both cameras. Again, we are reviewing the Tiny 2 Lite versions. You're gonna be able to connect. If you want to use 4K, you're gonna be able to do that. You also have this software, the OBSBOT Center, which is a great software that you can actually use for recording or for actually enabling a virtual camera. So as you can see in the software, again, assuming you only have one camera, you can go to this camera, which is camera 2, and you can go ahead and tweak a lot of stuff. Again, let's say for like normal tracking, if I move, just if you want to see the tracking, how it works for both cameras, you can see that it's actually tracking me, no problem. If I go this way, you can see both cameras are tracking me, no problem. If I go this way, you can see that both cameras are tracking me, no problem. problem. It's like copy paste, no problem, which is awesome. If I sit down, you can see that both cameras are actually tracking me, no problem. Okay, but you can see the image quality changes. The way the other one deals with the Lite is actually a little different compared to the Lite version. You can see that the contrast is way better with the Lite, with the OG version. Okay, but other than that, the tracking, the speed, everything is the same, no problem. And also, if I go to all the gimbal functions are available for both cameras. You can create presets if you want. Again, on this one, I already have like some presets. I can hit close up. Again, this is a different preset that I said before. Okay, can go back to wide, same thing. I can go to camera 2, which is my camera right here, and I can add the new preset, or I can just like use some of the pre-made presets here, no problem. So when it comes to the software, guys, as you can see, I'm even recording using the same software. Now, if you have 2 cameras, again, I know most of you guys are not gonna have 2 cameras, but if you have 2 cameras, 3 cameras, as you can see, I can even switch between cameras. So you guys, like, you can see it's outputting different, it's recording on the same kind of track, but it's outputting different videos. So every time it's like a switch, it's like a live switch. So I can switch from camera 1 and then go to camera 2, boom, camera 1 and camera 2, which is awesome. But again, for the Lite version, you can see that you have everything. So when it comes to the software has improved significantly. Like use a Stream Deck to control these cameras. Again, Lite version and the OG version, no problem. And of course, if I go down here to image here, beauty, I can enable HDR if I want. And as you can see, it's gonna change the image significantly. All right, I can change the autofocus and everything, the white balance, of course, saturation, sharpness, contrast. I can go to more and can adjust the sleep time. You can still use the gesture control. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the gesture control, but with the Lite version, you still have the gesture control. If you do things like this, as you can see, it's going to zoom in, and again, now both cameras are following me. If I do it again, it's supposed to zoom out, which is awesome. So everything works like in both cameras, no problem. I can go to what else do we have here? You can set up your audio. Again, I tried actually my Tiny 2. I don't know, it's probably the version that I got because I got it a long time ago. My audio sounds really weird, but on the built-in microphone on the Lite version sounds okay. But again, all the time, I actually not encourage you guys to use the built-in microphones in any of the devices. Usually having an external microphone is always the best way to actually record. And as you can see how I'm recording, this software has even like some sort of routing, how you can record some content actually using this software 100%. As you can see, I have all the microphones, built-in microphones of the Tiny 2 and the Tiny 2 Lite kind of turned off. And I'm using the microphone from the Rodecaster Duo, which is my external microphone, this microphone here, connected to the Rodecaster Duo. So that's how I'm recording this video. So it's actually awesome. You can connect multiple microphones. You got some hotkeys. You got some of the cool things here that you can actually play with. You can change the resolution. If I wanted to record in 4K, I can actually go here and record in 4K. Both cameras, again, they record 4K 60 frames per second, 4K 30 frames per second, and Full HD 60 frames per second or 30 frames per second or lower. All right. You can even change to portrait if you want both cameras to actually, you know, if you want to record some social media like very cool content, you can do that. It's just you're gonna have to physically rotate the camera. Otherwise, it's just gonna give you like horizontal kind of image with like some black bars on the top. But other than that, if you can mount it kind of, you know, vertically, you're gonna be able to get you can just change to portrait here and change and switch to vertical mode, no problem. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Now if you are in beauty, you can always go here to image. Okay, and wait a second. Okay, so the software has changed. Obviously, I was looking for the beauty stuff. If you are in the beauty, you can go here, right? Click on this button, and you're gonna have this little thing that's going to open here. It says beauty. Now you can choose program, select program, and then you can go 1 or 2 or 2. So basically it's like which camera that's gonna be applied to, I believe. And then you can go, you have bokeh. So as you can see on 2 doesn't really work. if I go to I can go here and apply bokeh, and as you can see, it's applied already. And then I can reduce it a little bit, you know, and boom. So if I want to have like a blurry background a little bit, just want to make sure my background is a little blurry, you know, I can use something like that. Again, it's not perfect. It's not like having an actual lens that has like, you know, a lower aperture number, but you can see that this is gonna do the trick. Again, my image, I believe, is like too contrasty a little bit, but yeah, you can do that. You can also go to camera 1 here and do the same thing. Go ahead and change that. Okay, so as you can see, it does apply on both cameras, which is awesome. You can also go to retouch, okay, and enable it. And then as you can see, again, if you are in a beauty niche, you can change something like this. Go to native, and then you can make some adjustments, obviously. So if I want to go to tone, I can improve the tone. As you can see, it makes me look really cute. So I can, if I go to bokeh and maybe reduce it to something like 1, and then go to retouch. Oh my god, they look really cute. So you can see that it makes me look really very cute, very lovely. So let me change this to program, and look at that. Oh my god. Anyways, so you can see that it does really change you. You can do a lot of cool stuff in here. So I can go to this camera 2 as well, and then I can apply the same thing. As you can see, it's a little overexposed, but I can work on it, maybe reduce a little bit, take it down a little bit. Okay, and then let's go, if I go full screen a little bit. Oh my god, wow. This is kind of cool. So again, if you're in the beauty niche, man, you can play with this. Let's see, we have one for men. I was using the women one, maybe that's why I looked a little cute. Yeah, so you can see that I can change it to something like this one. This is where we're gonna be for a different video, where I will actually dive into this stuff, and you can see that it makes me look really, like, it makes my skin very smooth, but also, like, I think it's changing my skin tone a little bit, which is not something they should be doing. You want to look a little slim, you can do that, right? Look at that, it makes me slim, and then narrow a little bit. Ooh, hey. Anyways, so you guys, you get the idea. Again, I can go again to camera 1 here, camera 2, sorry, and then I go to image, and then I can reduce the image back to, I believe it's kind of overexposed probably. So I'll go to maybe get the tone down a little bit. Yeah, because as you can see, this is what it looks like. So, I mean, like, you can see, like, you can do a lot of cool stuff. Even though the camera doesn't have like a wow sensor, you can play with it and make it look really good for your live streaming. So my conclusion is the Tiny 2 Lite version worth it. Again, I think if you're on a budget and you really wanted to buy the Tiny 2, the OG Tiny 2, which is a fantastic camera. Again, you guys can see side by side how the two cameras compare to each other. I think this is a cheaper version. Obviously, the sensor is smaller, which it makes image quality slightly kind of, you know, less better, right? Slightly worse compared to the other one. But I believe this version is still worth it. Looking at all the stuff that you can actually tweak in the software, and actually you can get it to look to something close to the Tiny 2 original. So I think I would still recommend it, especially if you are on a budget. Now, if you have the money, if you have the cash, the other one is actually around $330 compared. The OG is $330. This is $179-ish. So compared to the other one, you can see that it's almost double the price, right? It's almost double the price. So I think this camera is worth it 100% if you are looking into getting the OG Tiny 2. So yes, I do recommend it 100%. But if you want to see a full video where I actually take the Tiny 2 and set it up in OBS and showing you all the cool stuff you can do with just the Tiny 2, I would encourage you to check out the video right here. But other than that, let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below, because you guys saw the image quality compared to the OG Tiny 2. So let me know what you think, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.